A mother and her son were simply attending a wedding, never expecting they'd end up being hunted by a professional killer. The mother, Julie, remained calm under pressure. The assassin was hidden at a higher elevation, armed with a sniper rifle. Julie knew they had to keep their heads low to avoid vital organs and count how many rounds the shooter fired.
5. He's reloading. Go, go!
Her son, Edward, was baffled by her composure. Even as bullets flew, she managed to peek out and pinpoint the shooter's position. What Edward didn't know was that Julie was a killer herself. Before she could deal with the threat, she had to make sure her son was safe. The assassin reloaded after every 5 shots, with the reload taking roughly 8 seconds. Thankfully, Edward was obedient. Despite his confusion and fear, he understood that survival came first. Once she was sure her son was out of harm's way, Julie sprang into action. The sniper was hidden in the mountains and didn't have access to effective close-range weapons. She needed cover to approach, and that meant finding a vehicle. Timing it precisely after the killer's 5th shot, she darted over to a nearby corpse, frantically searching it for keys. The man's large build served as a shield, absorbing all the bullets. Julie mentally counted the next set of gunshots, then jumped into the car and turned the ignition. The assassin, though armed with a sniper rifle, wasn't a marksman. He struggled to hit moving targets, but as Julie closed the distance in the speeding vehicle, the risk of a direct hit increased. Julie lost consciousness from the violent crash. The killer knew better than to leave the job half done, so he discarded the sniper rifle, pulled out a handgun, and cautiously approached. But he was still too inexperienced. Julie had been a hit woman for over 30 years. She survived on more than just luck. With the assassin dead, Julie felt no relief. Edward looked at her with questions in his eyes, but she didn't explain. Right now, getting out alive was all that mattered. Julie understood the rules of the organization she used to belong to. When one assassin fails, others are always sent to finish the job. Meanwhile, the scene below the mountain had turned into a literal blood wedding. The bride had just gotten married, only to become a widow minutes later. As the guests were still reeling from the attack, a group of men in black entered the venue, claiming to be Interpol agents. They were looking for a British woman. One of the elders at the wedding was confused. He had just called the police, and they'd already arrived.
You can't even ask me what happened. Show me your ID again.
Gunfire broke out again. The guests who had just survived one massacre were slaughtered all over again. Amid the screams, one of the assassins lifted an elderly man and asked him once more, "Where is the British woman?" The old man trembled and pointed toward a small cabin on the mountain, hoping they'd spare his life. His answer was met with a gunshot. The wedding venue fell silent. Only one person managed to survive the second massacre.